You guys, I have no idea what's going on here. Apparently this thing cut out on me again, and I was talking to myself and didn't even know it. Yeah, I didn't even know that it had shut off. Phew, this is annoying. I will have to get with Mobcam right away and try and figure out what's up with that, because we can't have that happening. Especially since, you know, I'm their star for the next 6 months. Get them thumbs in the air to show that you care. I have no idea what that means. And my voice looks out of sync. Wow. You know, Neurotic, it's not YouTube. It's actually it's the Mobcam app. And it's misbehaving right now. Actually, I should try to send a text to my friend Phil. See if he can figure out what's going on. Hang on while I send my friend Phil a text. Yeah, I'm tech savvy all right. You just watch me. Actually, I could probably send him an email faster. No, I can't. My email isn't set up. Let's see. Keeps shutting down. What's up? Okay, so I just sent him a note that it keeps shutting down. What's up? So we'll see if we can figure out what's happening with that. So Chad says that the video and audio are synced good now. There you go. Okay, well, it looks good for now. We'll see what happens. It could be that I should have checked the wireless connection and made sure I was connected to the main wireless in the house, not the extender. Because I'm in the kitchen and the main wireless is in the back end of the house. Jose, hello! How are you doing? Or hola. ¿Cómo está? Anyway, so we were talking. Let's get back to what we were talking about, okay? And first of all, it's a new broadcast. I got to go over my co-producers: AJ Calabria, Blair Davis, Cal Herrington, Chad Hornbuckle, Gabe Casey, Jimmie Carter, Laurel Riley, Myke O'Brien, Rich Macy, Tara Parsons, and Vanessa and Sandy Valls. Now these are people who are producing me, co-producing, on my Patreon at a $20 a month pledge, and that means they get their name shouted out. Now last month when I did my March Madness, and I hope you watched all 31 of those, because I put my heart and soul into doing those. So I hope you'll watch them. Most of them are 3.5 minutes. I think one might be 4 minutes, but they're all quick little snippets of my day. Not vlogging, because I don't do vlogging. But they're just little things that were on my mind, or things I was doing, or adventures I was taking. So my Patreon, there are people who signed up at the $20 a month level, and the deal with that is they get their names shouted out. And last month I did their names every video every day for a month. That was 31 times. This month I'm not going to do daily videos. I am doing these once a week things. But I have to be online for an hour, so I thought, well, I could do it just like the news does, you know, news and traffic on the 15. So no, that's not how it goes. It goes, they get like a microphone and go, ladies and gentlemen, news and what is that? Oh fuck! What did I say? News and traffic on the 15s, every hour on the 15s, or something like that. Anyway, I thought I would at least shout out my co-producers every quarter. It's GrannyPottyMouth, not Mrs. Pottymouth, but that's okay. Luther and April are here, and oh my gosh, Ken from Malaysia, how are you? Samantha, Jack Smith, Oh, thank you. Oh, my Jack Smith. Holy fuck, it's my Jack Smith. Oh, dude, how are you? How are you? And your sweet wife. Jack's one of my dancing friends. From way back. My gosh, I bet we've known each other 25 years. Well, oh gosh, how do I say your name? Is it Caerid or Caerid? Give me a phonetic, because I think it's a Welsh or Irish name, and I don't know exactly how to say it. Anyway, love from Norway. Have I ever cooked any traditional Norwegian dishes? I'm not sure I have, but I wouldn't mind. Oh, where was I? Shit, this is what happened. This is why I don't like the live quite so much, because I get so distracted. So we were talking about things that I could do on my show. So somebody just suggested that I talk about a recipe every episode. My podcasts have changed from my old ones. You like my old ones better. I've never done a podcast. Never. I've done videos, but I've never done a podcast. And if you don't like what this is, tell me what you'd like me to do different. See, I don't understand. That's the kind of stuff I don't understand. Why would you walk up to me and say that to my face? Or would you send me a nice note and say, hey, Granny, I used to love some of the stuff you did, and this is what I like the best, and would you consider doing it again? I don't understand the internet manners. I don't understand it. And I don't think it's because I'm old. I think it's because I don't live like that. I don't say things to people I wouldn't say to their face. I don't type things I wouldn't say to somebody's face. Jonathan, I wouldn't do that because that's not my thing. I don't know anything about it, and it would come off really, really fake, and so I wouldn't do it. Gosh, I should check with Lauren, because I haven't, Bosco Thomas, I haven't been in touch with her. Gosh, I actually saw her at the Mobcam offices not too long back, but we should do something fun. I'll put an apron on her, though. She might not like that. Cause you gotta wear an apron if you're gonna cook. Oh, I know. You guys were talking about how you just saw this. Mobcam is misbehaving right now, and it cut me off like 3 times, so I don't know what's happening with that. We've got to try to figure that out. And recipes and shout outs. I'm doing okay. I've actually lost track of the time, except that I know it's 12:30. See, the up there, when the broadcast continues to go on, there's a counter and it tells you how long you've been doing it. And so that broke 3 times. So fortunately, I have my phone here, which tells me what time it is. It's 12:34, and I started at 12 o'clock. And my computer's over there, and everything's going great. So looks like what I probably have to do is double check my internet settings before I go live, and make sure that I'm connected to the main internet here, not the extender, because the extender just apparently has a little pissy attitude. I don't know that I like that at all. Somebody asked me a while back about what kind of music do I like and why do I go out to live music all the time. Well, gosh, that's such a long story. Probably because it probably started way back in my younger days. My dad was a musician. He played piano, and then when he got the end of one of his fingers cut off in a factory accident, he switched to playing drums. And so I've always been around people who played music and sang music. My grandmother sang. My grandfather was a piano tuner. And I've always just loved music. And somewhere in the I want to say it was the middle 80s when country music was such a big thing. There were a lot of small clubs in Orange County where I used to live. And we could go out and we could see people play songs. And then at one point, a friend invited me to Nashville. And we went to a place called the Bluebird Cafe. And that was the first time that I learned that it isn't always the person singing the song who is the one who wrote the song. That there's a whole bunch of people who write songs for a living, and maybe they're not such great performers, but they're great songwriters. So, I had been a fan of Kathy Mattea's for a long time. So, you know me and my challenges, my crazy challenges. So I thought, well, I wonder how many of Kathy's songwriters I could find who've written the songs that she's recorded. Because she's only written 2 or 3 of the songs that she's recorded. I wonder if I could find more of them. And it happened that, and what started it was that night that I was at the Bluebird, one of the songwriters had written a song that she had recorded, and it just went boom. So there's this whole other layer of music making that happens out there. So I started finding places where songwriters performed. And some of them are really great singers and performers and guitar players. And some of them have less than marketable voices, but they still deliver a song really well. And so, and this was during a time when my second marriage had just broken up. And I had no money at all for getting cable TV. But you could go to most of these small music clubs and just buy a Coke or something and leave a tip for the musician, and I could do that several nights a week and still be less than the cable bill. So, heck, that was a lot more important to me. And it also reinforced for me the idea of this will happen like this only right now. For instance, this broadcast will never, ever, ever happen exactly like this again. And if you're here and you heard me cough, or you saw me take a drink of water, or you saw me try to explain why the mob cam fucked up, well, it's right now. And that's the same with going to a play or going to a music performance. It's live. It's right now. It's sparkly. It's in the now. It's being present in the now. And when you do that, you just notice a lot of different things. You notice the beauty, and you pay attention to the fun, and you pay attention to the emotions. And to me, it just keeps you connected on a much different level than throwing something in the CD player. Not that I mind throwing stuff in the CD player, although you can't buy a new car these days with a CD player in it. I'm like, what the fuck? I have cartons and cartons and cartons of CDs. And when I start to take these bucket list trips that I talked about in the first segment, and I'm on the road for hours of the day, I want to be able to play my music. But I think I have a trick. If I get to take a trip with my sweetie, and he's driving, well, or we switch off driving, I have an external CD player that I use on my laptop, because you can't buy a laptop anymore with a CD player in it unless you spend a fuck ton of money. So one person could be in charge of the music, and the other person could be in charge of the driving. And we could both be in charge of having a great time. That's my idea of a really great time. Trying to think what else we can talk about. I need to put some more water in here. So that's my story about why I go out to live music. It turns out that it's just the one thing, live entertainment, whether it's music or a play or a comedy performance or improv or anything like that. It's the one thing that nourishes me and jumpstarts my creativity on a regular basis. And it either soothes me or excites me or gets me just gets me in a good place in my head. Jonathan wants to know what got me started creating all the content that I do on YouTube. Well, wow. About 6 years ago, I moved from one house to another. Let's make it that. That's the easy version. And when I was unpacking, I found my handwritten bucket list. And on that bucket list, it was that I thought I wanted to be an actor. And now I was living in Los Angeles, and it could be, it was close enough that I could give it a try. And at first, I wanted to be like a background actor, the person you see in the back of the cafe when they're filming the 2 important people or 3 important people or something like that. But I did that for a little while and realized that it just was not, it wasn't the way I wanted to be treated. Because although they say they need you for every scene, they need this furniture and background and what else do they call it? Well, they don't call them extras anymore. They just call it background because it's the stuff in the background of the picture. Although they say they need you, they don't treat you like they need you. And I didn't like being treated like that. I didn't like being the last one in line for food. I thought that, you know, whatever. I am a TV granny. Yes, I am. So then I thought, well, I've been listening because, again, you know, I pay attention, right? That's the whole thing about going out to live entertainment is you have to pay attention to all this stuff. And so your neurons are always firing and you're always paying attention to everything. And there's an Australian phrase called sticky beaking. And that's like sticking your beak, either sticking your beak into someone's conversation or overhearing someone something that's going on. So I listened to all these veteran background actors bitch and moan and complain about what they were doing, and yet they never tried to do anything else. They never tried to get anywhere else. I'm like, why would you bitch and complain about where you are and not try to make a move doing something else? And in the middle of some of those conversations, I learned about some other places where you could get acting jobs. And a lot of them would be like a secondary player or you know, maybe someone who just has a quick conversation. You know, maybe the checker in the grocery store when the main character is buying something. So, but I thought I would apply for ones that didn't pay anything and maybe apply for ones that were students. Because at some point, if I did a really good job, someone would ask me back. And that's kind of what happened. One of the gigs I applied for was the tofucking thing for PETA, and that went super viral. And then I was defending the swearing to one of my friends who I didn't know was just so offended by it. And I said, well, I guess my inner GrannyPottyMouth came out. And right then I went, whoa, mind blown. I just named her. So I have some commercials on TV right now. I have a commercial for the General Insurance, and it's kind of hard to recognize me because my hair is all like 90 degrees from everywhere, and I got a big pair of motorcycle goggles on, or swim goggles, or whatever the fuck they were. They weren't obviously for riding a scooter. I'm driving an electric scooter, and a young man is in the back of my scooter riding backwards. And the notion of the commercial is that if he hadn't fucked up his car insurance, he wouldn't be having to get a ride to work on his grandma's scooter. And the very last, I'm not going to tell you what I say at the very last, because that's the funny bit. You just have to watch it. Oh my gosh, Lisa O'Kane is here too. My friend Lisa O'Kane. Yay! I love it when my real friends I know in person are here. It's so cool. I don't think about them coming into my live broadcast, and yet why wouldn't they, right? So it's just way cool when I see them. So that's my buddy Jack Smith, who I've known, like I said, it's at least 20 years, and Lisa O'Kane, who I've known, well, at least 10 years. She's a beautiful singer. You should check out her music. It's O''Kane. Lisa O'Kane. She's just got a gorgeous voice. And she's beautiful. There's that. Yes, you have to pay attention to the insurance ads. So the first of my ad, you just see me riding the scooter coming up over a rise with my big old goggles on. And my hair is at 90 degree, everywhere. Oh, Sherry! My gosh, Sherry Robertson, how the heck are you? We haven't talked in forever. Forever. Sherry's one of my San Diego buddies. One of my music buddies from San Diego. Do you like all this stuff? All my regular friends? This is my annual visit to the dermatologist to get my checkup. I stopped being in the sun when I was probably 17 or 18. But this is old sun damage, and some of it's just being old. But I still think I have pretty decent skin for 75. I have to tell you, I need to do a shout out again in a minute because we're at the quarter hour again. I tell people that my skin secret is that whenever I see a new wrinkle, I just eat a little more and take up the slack. It doesn't quite work. What do you think? Actually, it's not too bad. I am heavier than I should be, but not crazy. Yeah, so Jonathan and Patrick, I'm glad you liked the whole story. That's pretty much the whole story of how it happened. And in fact, you remember how I said that I thought that if I showed up and I did a good job and I had a really good attitude, that people would call me back? Well, 4.5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, I did a really almost nothing thing for a guy who was doing his master's thesis film. And I just needed to be the person on the bus at a bus stop who looked over and gave somebody one of these. Let's see. One of those, like, like, dude, couldn't you have taken a shower before you sat down? One of those kind of looks, And I guess he thought it would take me 6 or 7 takes to do that right. But he liked the very first one I did. He goes, "Oh my God, you so nailed that." And I just kind of said, well, my kids are very used to that look. And he cracked up. He totally cracked up. And he said, well, I want your email address and I want to be able to stay in touch with you. And Tuesday night, 2 days ago, when I was out at live music, there's live music every Tuesday night. Oh, Lisa, if you're still watching, I should have done vocal exercises before I tried to talk for an hour, right? Yeah, it's the same as singing. I should know that. In fact, my voiceover coach told me to be sure to do vocal exercises before I ever went in to do a voiceover session. So that's what I'm going to have to do. Oh yeah, that's right. The commercial is on YouTube if you search the General and Scooter or the General and Granny. Yeah, there's a 30-second version and a 15-second version. I kind of like the 15-second version better because it just gets right to the point. Thanks for sharing that, Chad. So anyway, let me finish the story. So I was sitting there at live music and there was a little break and I checked my phone and I had an email from that guy, from the director of that film where I was the impatient person at the bus station. And he wanted to know if I could work for him next Saturday or Sunday. Was I free either day? He would do whatever it took, move the schedule around so that I could work, if I could work either one of those days. And I said, well, I'm busy on Sunday, but I'm available Saturday afternoon between 1 and 5. He goes, great, that's perfect. We'll make it work. I'm so happy. I'm so excited to connect back with you. That was 4.5 years ago, guys. But, you can take that message and you can live with it. If you show up and you do a good job and you have a good attitude, people will want you to show up again. They'll remember you and they'll ask you to show up again. So, speaking of showing up, we're in the last 15 minutes. We have 10 minutes to go in this broadcast. I'm sorry that it cut off a couple of times. I'll get with the people at MobCam and try to figure out what's up with that. But shout outs for my co-producers, and this is the list. This is all of you wonderful people. These are people on Patreon. It's a monthly thing. The charges for April just went through. So if you sign up now, you'll get the benefits, but you won't get a shout out until next month. That's just how it works, because they don't charge your card for a month. So we have AJ and Blair and Cal and Chad, who just put the note up here, and Gabe and Jimmie and Laurel and Myke and Rich and Tara and Vanessa and Sandy. My amazing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 amazing co-producers. And I'm really, really, really grateful to you. So, we have 9 minutes left. Let's do a wrap-up. Let's do a wrap-up. I call this first one a success. Even if we had the technical issues, it's a success. I got to see 3 of my real-time friends, my real-life friends in the live broadcast. In the what's with that, right? I don't stutter. And even if I did, what's wrong with it? But anyway, I should pay attention better. What was it I said in that video? I should just stop and think before I engage my blah, 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 right? Oh, Cassie Dang is here too. She's one of my real life friends. It sounds like romper room. I know, Sherry, but I mean, this shit is just basic, right? And mind your manners, right? Mind your manners. Don't say anything. Don't type anything there that you wouldn't say right to my face. Please, be nice. Be nice. Show up. Do your job. Have a great attitude, and they'll ask you back. And Patreon co-producers, you can sign up for any amount. Even at the $2 level, you get, I send out, this is the truth. This is the honest, as truthful as it gets. About once an hour, maybe once every hour and a half, I just stop and I hug myself so that I can send cyber hugs out to all the people who've signed up on my Patreon. And that includes the people who just have $2 a month to spare. And they have signed up to get my hugs out through the cyber world. Yes, because hugs are an unlimited resource. They are a renewable resource. When you give a hug, you get a hug. When you hug somebody, they're hugging you. You're never, ever, ever at a deficit. It always stays level, right? We like it when things stay level. Wow, this has been fun. I think I showed you a picture of my setup here. One more time for any of you who didn't see it earlier. So that's my tablet right there that you're seeing me on. And that's my computer off to the side so I can look at stuff. That's my phone down there so I can watch the time. That's my water bottle. Oh, and that's the kitchen counter behind me. And it doesn't look too bad right now. The table, on the other hand, oh my God. The table is a mess. Hello, Martina from Croatia. We're just about to end this broadcast. Every week, they're going to be at a different time, maybe a different day. Thursdays always work for me because my sweetheart always goes to play music. So the music thing, right? He plays music every Thursday at the VA hospital nursing home. He and a bunch of other veterans and a couple of people who are not veterans volunteer their time once a week, every week, for 3.5 hours, and they play music. Old-time standards for the people in the nursing home, the men and women in the VA nursing home. He's a pretty special guy. Well, that's one of the reasons I love him. He's a pretty special guy. I don't talk much about my personal life, but My sweetheart is a pretty special guy. Oops. I'm wiggling the table. Sorry about that. It's not an earthquake. It's just me. I'm sorry. That's mean. That's not fair. I'm sorry. Oh, gosh. 12:56. 4 minutes to go. I'm going to have to stitch these all together now, which isn't the way it's supposed to be. And I'll post them on Facebook and I'll post them on YouTube so that anybody who wasn't here can watch them. And you can watch the evolution for the next 6 months. Once a week for an hour for 6 months. If you're watching on YouTube, there will be some suggestions that pop up in the corner and maybe something to subscribe and something for the Patreon down in the bottom corners. And pretty much that's it. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming in to have a good time with me. Oh, Sherry, you asked, no, actually older standards than that. Because a lot of the people in the nursing home are older than he is. You know, they're in their 80s and 90s. So it's a big mix of music that they play. Cal, you rated as an A+. Holy fuck doodle, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. That's such a great compliment. Oh man. And Jonathan, thank you so much for showing everybody the link to my general commercial. Ariana Pellegrinetti. And I bet I said that name right, didn't I? Pellegrinetti. I'm really good with names. Except there's this gal from, I think she has a Welsh or an Irish name, and I want to know how to pronounce her name correctly. I said Caerid or Caerid, but I'm not sure if that's right. And April, you're so supportive all over the videos. I really, really appreciate that. Hi, Vicky from Louisiana, or Louisiana. You say Louisiana when you live down there, don't you? Louisiana? Not Louisiana. It's like people who say California. No, we don't say California. It's California. Fornia. N-Y-A. And it's not Cali. We do not live in fucking Cali. I'm going to end the video on that note. We do not live in fucking Cali. There's Northern California and Southern California and LA and San Diego. And the rest of it, no, it's not Cali. Who the fuck ever coined that phrase? That's crazy. You're just too lazy to say California. Cali. California. 2 extra syllables. Come on, give it a break. Oh my gosh. I didn't need to end on a rant, did I? I should end on some love. So for the next minute, it's love and kisses. Mwah! Granny loves you. And you, 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 and you. All of you, every one of you, whoever is looking at this, whenever you look at that. Yeah, Sherry lives in San Diego. She knows we do not call it Cali. Fuck no. Love and kisses. Back to love and kisses. Ooh. Yeah, love and kisses for Ladybird Starshine. What a great name. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Oh. Oh, so Jonathan said Patrick was excited to get a shout out. Well, you know, there's a way to get a shout out 4 times in this video. Yeah, there is. And if you're too impatient to do the Patreon thing, then just send me a note and you can do PayPal and you can get on the list for the rest of the month. If you want on that shout out list, send me a note and we can do PayPal and we can make that happen. Oh yeah. I love you. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. It's been fun. A ton of fun. Oh, the button. The button is way up there. And I have to look at it over there, put my finger on it, and then look at you and say bye-bye.